down an Exalizer. Working on backups. Spent Exalizer has been retired.
When you're good and ready.
Exalizer suppressed. Purge it before it makes the contamination worse. Cascade intensified.
Hey friends, this is my Oberon build that I use for everything in the game. Mostly Cascade, because that's mostly what I play. Yeah, I usually never have a second config. I've got one build to do it all. So let's start with the Oberon. What we've got here, we have corrosive projection, a bit of armor strip, cunning drift, a bit of range. We've got a ridiculous amount of range in here. It's probably a little bit overkill, so you could maybe drop this if you wanted to. It's up to you. You could definitely drop arc on stretch as well. As long as you're hitting round about the 200 mark for range, you're going to be pretty much golden. So these two could be your flex slots. You want to put something else in there. But anyway, I like the big range here. Plus, you could get a bigger roar, radius 62 meters, so you can help all your friends when you're playing. So we've got a lot of strength, big range, equilibrium, because we're going to be constantly generating energy and health orbs. In conjunction with Arcane Universal Fallout, we should never have an energy issue. We should constantly have energy up all the time with this build. So continuity, a decent bit of duration, a bit more duration, and a little bit of passive shield gain here. Big energy pool and more strength. Arcane Hotshot, because our Diriga will keep this stacked constantly with heat damage on his arc coil, so that's nice. Ability wise, let's simplify this and not go into the details. You're going to cast your one on a high priority target. It's going to nuke them, probably one shot them, the likes of Thrax, Eximus, and the surrounding AoE will often take the enemies around them down to very, very low health. Hallowed Ground, this is going to give us status effect immunity, so when you're running room to room, once you get into that room where you're going to be fighting, I would cast this and try and stand in it constantly. So we'll have massive range in this, 37. I believe we can have a few of them active at the same time. We'll test out in a second. So just keep this up and stand in it. You're going to rad proc enemies, and basically on death, we will typically get lots of energy and health, and they'll be infighting with the rad procs. We've got Roar, Universal Faction Multiplier. This is going to double our stats effect damage. Just overall increase our damage a good amount. And here we have Reckoning. This is going to lift enemies, slam them in the ground, and armor strip them. A really nice, really nice ability to just armor strip and rad proc enemies. And also spawn health orbs when they die, so it'll work with our equilibrium. And the greatest thing about Oberon is this passive. Every time we collect the health orb with equilibrium energy orbs, we're going to basically get immortality stacks, three stacks of it. And with the amount of rad procs on here and equilibrium and universal fallout, we're never not going to have that. We're always going to be having that stacked. Now as for our companion, like I said, we're going to have arc coil in here, electric on all enemies, so we'll have passive energy regen. Pardon me. Not that we'll really need it, you know, because we've got so much equilibrium, health, and energy orbs dropping all over the place. So we will be golden. We've got Guardian and Booster Shield in case it breaks. That'll probably never happen, but it's a nice little comfort. Extra layer of survivability, vacuum, collect stuff, the typical Bond mods for spreading status effects, cloning, you know, more status effects, cold on the enemies, synth deconstruct to help with picking up equilibrium shards, equilibrium orbs, just the standard sort of prime and Diriga build. Over here, we're going to have viral here. This is going to be our base source of viral on all enemies. This should be room-wide radiation, again, nice for our equilibrium. And universal fallout, heat for stacking arcane hotshot. So we constantly have huge red crits all the time. Augur Pact and Augur Seeker is going to give us a little bit of passive shield regen when we cast abilities, which we'll be doing quite a lot when we cast our one. So that can be quite nice. So, not that we'll really ever need it, but we'll have quite a small shield, so if it comes to it and we have to shield gate, we should be able to manage it to an okay extent. So, let's have a look weapon-wise what we've got here. Let's try something different. We've got the Bolter, Corrosive Magnetic Heat, decent enough ruin, multi-shot Toxin Fire Rate, can't complain, Deadhead. So this will wipe up enemies very, very quickly. And if in doubt, we've always just, you know, we can cast the one on a Thrax or an Eximus, and typically they will be one-shotted, regardless of the level. It is very, very good. Sicarus, what we've got here, we've got a little bit of overguard gate in here, which is nice in the higher levels in case you're struggling. We've got Magnetic Corrosive Heat. Again, this is always what I run because there's not a single faction that can survive this. It'll just annihilate everything. And here, take what you want, but I like the Praetos for movement speed. Just typical, really, really good. We're not going to be using it often, but if we ever get in a sticky situation, we can. We've got influence in it. It should kill quite well, to be fair. So, evolutions on the Bolter. Oops. And the evolutions in the Sicarus. Now, let's spawn some of these guys in and we'll showcase our sort of way we would play this. So then we'll jump into a mission and let the footage play out. So we've got these guys here. We're going to cast for extra strength. And our Diriga's not priming, so when you swap him out, he's glitched a little bit. Get this dude out, see if he works. Right. Get the Diriga out now, and that should fix the glitch. So we'll Burst Laser Prime. Yep, now he's priming up. So if we have a looky up here, look, we're stacking our Arcane Hotshot, and this will be up basically indefinitely. So if we want to cast our Roar, get a strength buff, got viral on these guys, get a Roar. If we go, nice damage boost. So look at this. Bolter is going to have no issue in wiping people out. Look at that, and of course that kicked in. So we keep that viral up on enemies. Look at this, so it levels the damage. Nice and easy. Bob's your uncle. Gonna have no issues with killing with guns. And you know, a nice buffing from the roar, and nice buffing from the arcane hotshot. Red crits, very, very strong. This will shred all the way up to level cap. Whatever content you take this in, this bolter is going to do the job nice and easily. So the bolter we know is working completely fine. We pull out the Sicarus, keep our roar active, we've got active. Again, really, really strong weapon. And look at its passively giving us overguard as it ricochets around, which is just like another nice level survivability. So when you get into these higher levels, you can kind of relax to a certain extent, because you know, if my overguard fails, I have my passive, which is giving us great out of health, as you can see. And if that fails again, we have the ability to shield gate. So let's showcase how strong our first ability can be here. these dudes, so we'll cast that.
Stay focused.
Roar.
There's a heavy unit approaching.
Look at that. One tapped him. It took a lot of the health. Basically stripped all the overguard. So this is getting vital on the guys. Look at that, 6 million. So if you really want to and you get in a sticky situation, you know, if you spawn a Thrax and he's took away all your energy, you can just boom that, quickly kill him, then get back into the game. Running around doing that. You can run around, casting it constantly if you wanted to, but I wouldn't recommend it. So if we unpause this, guys, let's showcase a bit of our survivability. Now we've got the overguard level of survivability, and you know, when that breaks we can, oops, ate shit there because I'm half asleep. Showcase that again. So we've got our level of overguard here. Look, we can spam this and we should be pretty much fine. Our abilities up. Now with armor strip, we've got hallowed ground down. It's going to give us our stats immunity. That's why I went down there. I was being stupid. You know, as long as we stay in this hallowed ground, we can spam our overguard and not even have to worry about the passive. But you know, and now we're triggered the passive, we grade out health. Again, grade out health. You know, if we go over here, where is it? Picking up this. Grade out health again. Giving the overguard up. So we're at 3 stacks, so if we unpause these guys here, we'll show it working. So what's this here? Where's the health orb? If I can see where they are. Can't even see where they are. There they are over here. We're picking up more health orbs again, and you know, we're just grayed out health. As long as we keep picking up these health orbs, we're golden basically. You can see we're just standing under that, tanking it now. Very nice and easy, comfortable build. Looking like a fool there, making it look like he can't survive. But you know, the first time I ever took Oberon at level cap, I hadn't really played him before. I got the rework done, and then I took him at level cap, and that was a completely deathless run. It was really, really nice. So if we get these guys in without the overguard, and have a look at this. Past this, stand in the health orbs, and they'll all be infighting each other. They'll probably pretty much ignore us. And on top of the Diriga priming everybody, they're not really interested in us. We can smite them, we can armor strip them. And look at this, as long as we pick up these health orbs, we're going to be golden. Spawn these dudes in again, activate a roar. And look, Diriga's giving us a nice level of survivability too by just cold procking everybody. Then we activate our stats immunity, we're rad procking everybody too. If we can, you know, nuke them like this. Not that we really have to, and then you know, we can pull out our guns. The radiation, the viral on all the enemies from the Diriga's nice. And then, you know, if the Diriga does kill them, he'll spread all that status effects room wide. Now, another companion that you could use quite well with this build would be the Hound. Or if you wanted to go a melee focused build, you could go with a dog. So let's take a Hound in here and show it. And the Hound will actually be a little gate overguard for us, without us actually having the guns equipped, because as long as we have secondary fortifier on an arch gun or a secondary gun, you know, we'll get overguard. The Hound can proc it with synergized prospectus. So here you'll also proc arcane hotshot for us. So this is the sort of ability you want in the Hound. And then here you're sort of just another version of Diriga, basically. It's like a pet that's going to act a bit like Diriga and prime everybody. So if I pull out something different this time, pull out the Acarius, and we'll look at the Hound gain overguard for us. So we'll make the Hound invincible just so we can show it in case he gets shot dead. He should be pretty much fine as long as we can keep his overguard up.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Look out for overguard. There we go, 15,000 overguard, look at that. And as it breaks, we're gating it back again. But the Hound can be very nice with that. Combine invincibility. So we'll get this Hound back in and show it just one more time. As we can see, we're getting the overguard back quite nice. An armor strip. We can let the Hound do his thing, wipe all these dudes out for us. Now, another way we could work this is something like this. If we was to take, where is it? Mecha Empowered here. Pull this out and put in. Here we go, Mecha Pulse. And then we could take something like this. Where is he? No, that's not there. Where is he? We'll go. This can put us invisible. We could rely on, to a certain extent, this killing everything for us while we just cast our one. So I'd say the way we'd want to do this is get into the mission initially, get a bit of overguard on the dog for us. Sorry, get the Paris as well for a stat stick to help the dog out. You know, the dog will inherit this status chance here. So this would be the evolutions you'd want to do if you want to use this as a stat stick on any dog. As much status chance as you can. Then over here, the dog is going to want to have Mecha Overdrive and Hunter Synergy. So he inherits these stats here, status and critical chance. This dog should put us invisible, and we can run around and just kill with our first ability. So if we spawn these guys in, just set up in its ideal way. There we go, that's it. Now look at the sort of damage the dog's doing. Get a bit of overguard up for the dog too. And now if we unpause these guys, we should go invisible. Now we're invisible. Now we can strip and look, the dog killed everybody. Hopefully we'll be invisible again. Yeah, we're invisible. Dog's got his overguard. We can pull them up and strip them. Pass their one. Stay invisible. And safety. Nuke these dudes, and the dog will go around killing as well. And the dog's got the 3 stacks of immortality in him too, so it's quite nice. You know, we could also use another dog if we wanted to. We could take the Sunika, who's a bit stronger. He's designed for attacking Xmas too. Same sort of setup, less of a crit chance, but a lot more damage, 21,000 damage. So let's look at this in ideal conditions. We'll make us invincible and the companion invincible just to show this off. You want to get this stacked up. Get a roar active. Help the dog. Armor strip from the dog. And look at the sorts of levels of damage you can make it do. So pretty strong, millions and millions of damage. But for the run eye that I was playing earlier in the footage, you know, I just had the sort of standard gun build. Let's take the mitre with us. Let's take our Furus. Cascade Flare. Let's put onto this fortifier. Again, just that. We'll take our mitre because I don't think I've showed it, and it's going to be pretty good on Vobbing. I'm tired Oberon. So this is the evolutions. We want to have my usual suspects: corrosive, heat, magnetic, very good riven, multiplicative with duration and aptitude, deadhead, very very nice, lots of damage, and their Furus is just going to melt any high priority target very very easily. A lot of heat, corrosive, magnetic as usual, fortifier for an extra layer of survivability. And let's take our dog with some viral, and he's going to proc fortifier for us too, as we've seen, just to showcase it again that he does proc fortifier when I have the gun not even equipped right now. We're not holding the pistol or anything. There we go, look, there we go, proc and fortifier again in this overguard. And for the mitre, you know, just a dynamite gun in general. Very, very strong gun. Look at this, bounce around and ricochet. Whole room, red crit as well from the dog stack and hot shot. So that's the one bonus of having this over dogs, typical pet dogs. You know, this can stack hot shot for us with the heat bouncing all around the room, along with the Diriga. That's why I quite like these two companions. So let's jump in a mission and showcase it. So here we are in here. Now, until we get our stacks, we can have a little bit of vulnerability. You know, until we get our equilibrium shards, equilibrium off, and all these status effects to keep this passive up. There's a little bit of vulnerability at the beginning, but you know, once you get into it, especially once you're in a high level cascade with just orbs everywhere, we're pretty much golden. So we'll get our roar activated. Let's get our hallowed ground up too, to just make sure there's rad procs everywhere. And now we should be pretty much gold. Famous last words, so he said. And look, the Hound is giving us a bit of overguard again, without us even pulling out our secondary. And periodically casting the 4, casting the 1 will give us guaranteed health orbs, because they're going to die from that one hit. Look at that nice nuking from the Hound. Good boy.
Well done, Tenno. Your relic is open.
Continue to just run around and cast our 1. Everybody's going to die with it, regardless of their level. We pull out the Furus and showcase how good this is as well. we're doing this nice and easy, no real issues. Our passive is just so broken that we should be pretty much golden the whole time. And look, everybody's rad procking kind of in fighting amongst each other as well. Keep a roar up. Just ludicrous levels of damage from the guns. Yeah, big damage. And we're pretty much safe. And the dog again, it's just exploding the whole map really for us. We'll hang about till the Arclight comes in and we'll see how this is just an effortless sort of build to play. You want to keep your 2 up, keep your roar up, pick up and drop enemies with your 4, and cast 1 to generate the health orbs in them. And looky at this, 1,000 energy we just picked up there. It's really broken, this. And you know, if we can survive here, we're going to survive level cap, because the passive is just making the damage not matter at all. So if you can practice to get this down in Lua or any other high steel path mission and you don't die, passive alone is going to show you and give you the confidence to try the level cap cascade, because it's just so strong. There we go, an Acolyte finally spawning in, keep our roar up. Now the damage this can do in the Acolyte is okay, but you kind of want to do it to the enemies surrounding the Acolyte. So, you know, if we can nuke one of these guys here, when the Acolyte's next to him, we should be okay, should be able to do a decent amount of damage. Strip him. Down here, and you see that in conjunction with me and the dog, we got rid of him quite quickly. And as we know, the weapons are going to just melt him effortlessly. Well, we just, you know, chain being immortal. So Oberon is absolutely busted. His rework is fantastic. I don't think anybody could disagree with that. He has now became, in my eyes, in the top 3 best cascade frames. You know, for effortlessness, you've got Oberon, you've got Rhino, you've got Revenant. I'd say there's 3 top easiest frames to cascade with. But I think that'll do for today. Cheers.